Hi guys, almost home. Touchdown in smelly Runcorn. I'll walk over the famous Runcorn Bridge now. Over the River Mersey. Quick walk through town, past all the boozers and I'm home. What a day. Wow. Some of the footage that I've put up's a good taster today of the things what was going on. I've got some even better footage on my digital camera. The thing what was quite alarming, quite disheartening, basically, once we got right into London, to the key points where the protests were, no one could send a mobile video, no one could do any links or anything. It was almost, like they turned the mobile phone towers. Well, they did turn the mobile phone towers off. Do you know what I mean? Beggars belief, really. But, what a day, though. Fair play to everyone. There was no kick-offs, there was no violence. I personally documented the two arrests as best I could. They were just made up out of nowhere. They basically came, about 100 officers. How annoying when you're doing a live feed and your kid's mum's nagging you, ringing you at this time. Without reason. So yeah, it was almost like they had to force it to say that they had an arrest. Well, they did really. I know a lot of people don't believe that, but that's what was going on. The police needed some arrests today. They didn't do anything to us though, apart from kettle us in outside Downing Street, because there was that many of us filming, there was that many cameras. And two things today: the police were very wary of the camera, very, very wary of the multiple cameras, but also, I was touching on that the police agree with us. The powers that be know damn well that this country it's on the verge of going off. You could feel the tension today. We just didn't have the numbers. The People's Party decided to stay at Trafalgar Square. I went to document their march and to try and document some people speaking out, but I ended up following a main group down to Downing Street because that's what I wanted to do, that's what I wanted to be. Where better place than going to someone's doorstep when you've got an issue with them? Do you know what I mean? To speak man to man. And I give them police hell, but, I articulated my opinion. I didn't just stand there saying fuck the police. I let them know how I feel about them. I let them know they weren't doing the job, and I pulled them up a couple of times. The truth hurts. And, some were bantering, some were playing to the camera, but there was a lot of naughty behaviour going on, a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving, a lot of grabbing for no reason, kettling. They were kettling us in for no reason, grabbing people for crossing the road, saying they're obstructing the highway. It was a nightmare. They were doing their best to get a confrontation. But only enough of a confrontation to justify an arrest. They didn't want a proper confrontation. It was all about intimidation. At one point I turned around and I had a block of 20 of them behind me. So I thought, I'm not backing down. This is not the time to be quiet and go, whoo! So I let them know, and like I was saying, their eyes don't lie. When you look at them officers' eyes, they know what they're saying is true. It almost looks like they hate the government as much as we do, but they're caught in that trap, aren't they? Admittedly there will be a lot of, certain officers that are bad, but a lot of them are just normal they're human beings like us, normal people. I hate that word, as a man who's apparently got a mental health problem, but they're us, and that's what I was trying to get across to them. You should be standing with us, you should be standing with the people, not standing for these people who are causing all the trouble. They need to be doing the job, and they need to be honouring their job, honouring the Constitution, because we do have a Constitution. And it could easily be sorting out the problems in this country. There could be so much more unity, and it's the government what forces division. And I'm the first person to tackle an officer and have my say, but I'm also the first person to say, when they're needed, and they are human. And the key is we've got to build bridges with the police. It's going to be hard for the police to build bridges with us. We've got to start building bridges with them, but keep our honour, keep our integrity, keep our way of thinking, and make sure our voice is still heard. But I could sense it today. They were wary, they were scared. They also agreed with us. You could genuinely sense it. How many protests have you seen where the police are full on heavy-handed. Why weren't they so heavy-handed today? The best bit was we were outside Downing Street and a BBC man appeared briefly, you know, and out of everyone he wanted to speak to me, so I'm there. I'm giving him hell. I think Wes Hall got it on camera. I hope he did, because it was an epic encounter. The guy comes over, tells me he's mainstream media. I thought, boom, this is my chance to be heard, this is my chance, you know, lay my cards on the table, speak up for people, do what I can. And then it happened. Who'd you work for, mate? The BBC. Listen, fuck off, you child abusing cunt. You work for child abusers. You know, the BBC got handed a document, historic child abuse, evidence, names of people in power. They didn't cover it. You know? And these people harass people with bailiffs and use the police to enforce their civil legislation, criminal legislation, you know, ignore the constitution, ignore the laws, and the BBC have got a lot to answer for, so I'll be damned if I ever grace the BBC with my time. And as you all know, for all my rights and wrongs, I'm a man of honour and principle, and I myself couldn't speak to the BBC. Admittedly, maybe other people might choose to, or see it as the BBC won't give us a voice. You know, they would have probably tried to edit me to look like some crazy maniac. They wouldn't have been able to handle me. But then again, I don't know, because they articulate the point quite well. And I even had a sergeant today stood behind one of his officers who was trying a bit of the tough stuff, you know, where are you going and all that. He came over and commended me, you know, told me that I had a way with words, and that was a big thing. And I had a few encounters with that sergeant today, as well as other sergeants, who didn't seem to know their job. And it's alarming. The sergeant is above the normal police, the basic police, so they're giving out the orders to the ones who haven't even got the foggiest, you know. So how's someone ordering anyone around if they don't know the job, or they're not doing the job properly? Because that's the issue. That is the total issue today. The police presence, it wasn't needed. They didn't need to be kettling us in. They didn't need to be snatching people, you know. And it's a real shame that we apparently live in a country of free speech, good old England, good old Blighty, and these officers clearly, not one of them was willing to give an honest, open, frank opinion, and quite clearly, because there's consequences to speaking the truth, there's consequences to doing what's right, there's consequences. Why should there be any consequences whatsoever? Any system that creates consequences for freedom of thought, freedom of speech and expression, that's not a system, that's slavery. You know? It's a bit like how God makes hell. What God would make hell and then condemn us to live in hell, or, you know, we're going to go there in our death and burn forever if we don't follow this God. That's not God, you know? If you don't believe religion, then you've been deceived by the devil. I don't know. I'd say, if you put that in layman's terms, it'd be the other way around, you know? But back to the point, brilliant today, you know, absolutely fantastic. I think I'll be going down there again sometime soon. But not sure why the People's Assembly didn't march to Downing Street. Not sure why they were happy to stop at Trafalgar and give certain people a platform to speak and parade it up for the cameras, because the real action was outside Downing Street. But not enough people managed to get down there. There's only a small number of us who broke away, you know. But everyone done the bit today, everyone spoke up, and that's the main thing. Everyone came together. You know, admittedly, people were probably feeding their own egos and stuff, and as always, that's the world we live in. I've seen a lot of things getting sold. Maybe that money was to support the cause of things, but I didn't like it. I don't like how we're at a protest and people are selling pictures, and it didn't feel right, you know. I ended up getting a badge off someone, and nobody took the badge, and he said £1. So I was like, you know, just to be polite, but I actually ended up turning a few down, and I just didn't agree with it. It didn't feel right, you know. So we're going there to voice an opinion and to be heard, and there's people there more bothered about generating revenue. That's one of the things that we're about as truthers, you know. That's one of the things that we don't like, the desire and need for money over what's right, you know. Money before lives. I've said it before, money's ink on paper, it's not valued against natural resources. Someone's convinced us and programmed us, because that's what we are. We're like machines that think about it. Our veins are like wires, aren't they? And we're a blank program as a baby, you know. When we go to sleep, we shut down, don't we? We return to source. A bit like when we're dreaming. Feels good though not to have got arrested today. I did think at times I was going to get nicked, and when I was reviewing some of my footage, you can actually see where they've come to get me a couple of times and I've just managed to chip off. You know, I'm quite good at interpreting people's behaviour. That's why I made sure while I was making my opinion I was also, you know, trying my best to find a bit of common ground with them, be polite. Because if you're making too much of a scene and you're making too much of a show of the police, then you'll just get grabbed and put away in silence, and that's how it is. So yeah, I've done well today. Proud of myself, proud of everyone else that was there. I just hope that some change comes sometime soon. We can't expect too much in the general scheme of things, but you know, these Tories have got to go now. They're not fit for power. They were never fit for power. They've impoverished the nation, you know, terrorised us, and that was the main thing about today. It was good to see people together. It's a shame that we've had to go through so much to be pulled together. Do you know what I mean? It's a shame that unity wasn't there, but it's again down to the level of deceit that's put upon us, and it's down to this hidden knowledge and the powers that be know these ways to control us and manipulate us, and it goes a lot deeper than a few willies in Disney cartoons. You know, it goes a lot deeper than the media putting things into our head. It really does go a lot deeper, and that's the whole point of hidden knowledge and power, you know, and energy.